Right.
But like I don't know if I told you this, but I had AI call me out in the best, worst possible way. It was like, you're coming up with all these ideas and da 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 da, and you're making stuff, and all that stuff is fun. But what you need to be doing is going out and selling. And I was like, whoa.
Welcome to Fire Talks by Tech Wing Bites. Clarity for AI and your stalled unfinished projects. One bite at a time by Clint C. from Tech Wing Management.
What I had planned today was to really look at Google Trends and see what's going on, and we just have a conversation about it. And if you had something specifically around AI you wanted to talk about, we can also dive into that scene. So two things that's on the news right now. The biggest one is the internet being out because ChatGPT being down because of Cloudflare. So I wanted to talk about that because this is the second time. I think the last time Amazon went out and everyone was like, and that's just crazy. I just had some thoughts. Good that I have someone to kind of bounce that off of. So that's on top of my mind. And then what's trending on Google Trends as far as AI is concerned, and this is not me putting in any keywords. I just went to trending now. Anthropic stock. We can click on that and see what it is. And then there's this thing called Project Prometheus. It's Jeff Bezos' new startup. So we can talk about that as well. And then quantum. That's the next big deal. Do you have anything you wanted to cover?
No, that sounds great, man. I did have some experiences I want to share.
Oh, are you base 44?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, cool. So we can start with my latest post. I think I told you the last time I was using this thing called Google Opal, right? And Google Opal is really cool. It allows you to create content, but also research. So you can create social media content. It can create videos and create images, the typical stuff. But it can also do research and it can create apps, just like Base 44. Like I wanted to create a random number generator, and I looked in the App Store, and they were all crap. And I was like, "This is what I want," just like you do in Base 44, and boom, HTML page, and that start giving me more and more ideas. Excuse me, what can we create more base 44 type platforms? Like that's my question now. Because it's like base 44 is great, but it's base for 44. You're committed to that platform. But what if you can go on any platform that you want and generate what you want, because it's easier to generate what you want, especially simple things like a calculator or a small application that does this one thing that solves problems for people, which is usually features and bigger apps. But if you can create that one thing, that's where I'm at right now with Google Opal. So that's on Substack. You probably got a message already for it, so check it out. I was pretty excited about that one. And then the next one is and I barely checked this one out. I used it a little bit and I really like it. I want to use it more. This is another Google Lab stuff. It's called Pomeli. Google Pomeli. What Google Pomeli is, you put in your website. So say for you, write Mango. It goes to your website, scans everything, pictures, text, and then it comes back with branding. All your colors, you can adjust that when it comes back, right? With all that, and then you say, okay, now you have my branding, now you have my voice, now you have my images that I have on my website. Create me content. I think that's powerful, and these are all sub apps that I'm sure Base 44 can create, and a lot of these other tools is creating as well. So those are the two things that is on top of my mind right now. What's on top of your mind?
Hey man, the week started. I've been putting out fires already, work related fires.
Right.
But the past couple of weeks I've been trying to improve the blog. So Cliff Notes, the weekend edition. I've been working on a lot of different types of features, but I've hit frustration point like many times. Because what happens is that when you ask the AI to do simple stuff, it can do simple stuff. But when you actually do more complicated things is when you run into trouble.
That's when you need an engineering mind, right?
Yes. But even when you have an engineer in mind, it gets frustrating because the sequential way in which it thinks doesn't allow it to think holistically about the grand big picture type of plan.
Right.
So it's been a mix of trying so many different things in the prompt to see how it will sort of adjust, right?
Yeah.
But the bigger problem was not that. The biggest problem was the publishing the changes.
Really? Like consistency in publishing?
No, well, you would publish a change. It's supposed to be instantaneous, but there'd be some server caching that was happening on the base 44 side. And so what I had to do is what we typically do as developers, build a debugging page, right? Simple thing as hello world, can you see me? Publish that, right? And 404 can't see it.
Did you solve it? Why was it doing that?
So it was a server caching problem they had on their end. So I had to basically email support and tell them, like, listen, you guys, something's going on with this because something this simple, I'm supposed to see it, right?
See, I agree. That's what I was saying by not depending on one platform because of that.
Yeah. So you got to mind those type of hiccups, plus the AI itself not really, or the AI going in circles. So it may add the feature that you want, but then you got to prevent it from taking away things that you already built.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the experience is on other platforms with other people building apps. But Base 44 seems to be a very popular and widely used one. Have you heard of any other platforms that developers or people with some semi dev skills are using?
Yeah, and I can't think of the top of my head. So I'm gonna go to the internet and say base 44 alternatives because I know there was one with an E. And I can't remember the name, but it jumped out at me the other day. It actually came up when I was listening to my exactly. So I worked with Egan here in my last gig. He's a UX professional with a very strong developer background, and he's been diving deep into all of the AI stuff. Send me a gazillion links. Thank you, Claude Code. So appreciate it.
I have got my Claude Code set up now. I've got it set up now to use local models so that I can back off the $100 plan and go down to the $20 plan and use local models to write code. So it's
Can't
pretty
wait
cool.
to do that.
Nice.
I've been spending my entire time on just entrepreneur business, marketing, sales, accounting, and now I'm finally ready to dive into, the engineering side of things. And so those things, creating the MCP servers and, and really trying to figure out things that works because I feel like the public models is getting dumber, or more specifically, they're giving us the dumb model so we can pay for the better models is probably what it is.
But even the good models I feel like they have bad days.
Like, man, very bad days.
I'm like, well, did you wake up on the wrong side of the model? Like, what happened? Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that because I was telling Clint I've been working on my app, and I could probably just share my screen real quick so you guys can see.
Lovable. That's the other one.
Yeah, Lovable.
And there's a couple lovable offshoots like Open Lovable and I was looking at making my own models just for HTML and CSS and components, but I hadn't done it. I have plans. I have so many plans, and I just want to do them all.
Right, you know how it goes, right? So Egan, you missed this. While he's pulling that up, I wrote an article about some Google Labs tools that is kind of features of some of these popular services, and one of it is called Google Opal. I've been using that for a while. What it creates, so there's this thing called make.com and NHN, and what they do, they it's workflows, right? And they create these workflows, and each node
Oh,
you can kind of,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
Google Opal is doing that, right? But it's just like the same way. You come in and say, hey, build me an app, random number generator that does this, blah 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 blah, and then it creates it. And it has this visual like workflows that you can go and edit each node. So I've
Node
been
based.
using it. It can do video generation, image generation, generics, but it can also do research. So I ask it to say, look at what's going on, what's trending, and then give me back some content that's relating to that. Give me some ideas. And so I wrote an article on that on Substack, and I just posted it on Sunday. I kind of pumped about it. But in writing that, and I was kind of going back and forth. There's a new one called Pomeli, and Pomeli is cool. This, you might get mad at this. The UX in you is gonna get very mad. So Pomeli, you give it your website.com, whatever,
On
and
brand content.
so you found it, and it grabs the colors, it grabs your images, and it creates content from you. And I think that's brilliant. So I'm gonna be diving into that next. If we run out of
Gemini
topics,
3 just came out a few minutes ago.
oh,
Gemini 3 for Google.
I hope it's better than the 2.5 Flash I've been using, because that's been frustrating me.
Use Pro. Get Pro. Gotta use Pro.
Yeah, I got Pro. But
Use Pro.
I feel like they keep tricking you. You get Pro, and it's like, hey, there's another level.
Oh wait, there's more.
Yeah. And
Well,
then if we run out of topics, I'm looking at Google Trends, and there's two top topics that's jumping my attention here. One is Anthropic stock and Project Prometheus, Jeff Bezos' new startup.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yeah. Saw that
Yeah.
flash across the news this morning.
Mm-hmm. All right, Clifton, what you got?
So man, I've been working on this thing.
It's base
All built with
44 generation,
all
right?
built with base 44, right?
Okay.
So simple things like adding profiles so you can switch out what type of team you want based on your reading style. So let's say you're like a New York Times type of person, you like that style font. You notice it switched it up? The font change?
Yeah, I did see it.
Yeah.
So you're switching out style sheets. That's sweet.
Yeah, so since you're a UX guy, man, I mean, like, this frustrated me to no end because, like, this simple change was not going into production. It was not going. And I for days, I'm like, this is crazy. And then what was worse was I had a infinite loop spinning when you log in. It would just keep going around in circles and circles and circles. And so I finally said, oh, let me just ask it to create a simple page. Just show me hello world or something. Publish it. Nothing. 404. So I was like, you know what? I checked the developer console. You can come in here and check development tools and check the console and see what's going on. I'm like, yeah, nothing's going on there. so I finally emailed support, and they're like, yeah, within a couple of minutes, everything published. So I said, you guys owe me credits, because I spent probably a good 50, 60 credits throwing different ideas at this thing, just trying to develop it.
Did they give you your credits yet, or a promise they will give it to
you? They said they will give me some credits back, but I haven't checked to see what's the last amount of credits. If you want to see how the back end of this thing works, let me see. Let me show you the back end.
All right.
And so, what are you using for this? Lovable?
Base 44.
Base 44.
Base 44. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been using my Google Opal. I'm so pumped up about it because it's like I know you're not gonna give me 100%, but 80% is good for me. That's why I'm saving time. Like I'm pumped up. Yeah. My only concern with Base 44 Cliff is it's just that, right? The publishing and the transferability, right? Like if you create an app, can you take it off of their platform and host it on your own if you so choose?
You can you can connect it to what's the name of the site where you store your
GitHub.
repository?
Git,
GitHub.
GitHub?
Yeah, GitHub.
Mhm. Okay. Well, that's not bad.
Speaking of base 44, I can't even get past.
See, this is so
Something's going on.
you
See,
missed
So
you
yeah,
missed this, Egan.
maybe
that's
they've got something to do with Cloudflare. Who knows?
this,
High
a
probability.
lot of this is why one of the tacks I've been taking is to set up LLMs on my own. I've got a pretty good laptop with like 64 gig of memory, but setting up LLMs, open source LLMs on my laptop and having those do a lot of the coding and a lot of the work that I want to do, hooking those up, giving those guys tools that are pretty free, open source, freely available MCP tools, and because that's what these guys are doing. Basically, they've got their own model that's trained on their tech stack, which is probably Tailwind, CSS, and like React components or something,
Right.
and so they build off that. They off your prompts, they set all this up. They've got a whole set of agents behind the scene.
That's what I want to do. My only problem is, Egan, I need one of your type of Apple PCs. Mine is crap. I need some
I,
power, man.
I got a Mac Mini,
Oh, really?
the same setup as my laptop. That's my server now, and I
Right.
spent $2,000 on that. It's not bad
Okay.
for a server.
I mean, yeah.
It'll
And
run
it's
some good
handling.
models on there.
So are you running multiple models like DeepSeek and maybe said the free versions of OpenAI's and maybe
Yeah,
some other
yeah,
one?
yeah.
Okay.
DeepSeek 32 gig model and OpenAI 20 gig model, and then Llama 3.1, the old classic 8 gig
Yeah.
model, is really. I just put it through a whole bunch of tests. I finally got my development network set up, and I set up a whole set of tests to test all the LLMs,
Mm-hmm.
see which ones I ought to use, because I've got like, oh god, 40. Um, and yeah, I got like 400 gigs of models, and
That's what I'm
and
talking
so
about.
it said that Llama 3.1 was whooping a bunch of others butts for this stuff, for coding and basic data stuff. It was really, really crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did-
dude, you got a lot going on there, man. Hell.
Yeah,
man,
I've been trying. I've been collecting all these models. Like, I don't have the time to test them and really play with them, and I need to come up with a testing plan. And so I finally did it, and I was like, okay. And it
yeah.
can run all night. It can run all night now.
Yeah. That's yeah. We've been trying to connect for a minute, Cliff, and the little demo he showed me, and this was way back then. I'm sure you've elevated since, Egan, as far as your whole setup and workflow. You right? Yeah, I know
Well,
you
yes,
there.
yes and no. Like, I alternate between the dev stuff. I find fun. It's like
Hmm.
a means to an end.
Right.
But like I don't know if I told you this, but I had AI call me out in the best, worst possible way. It was like, you're coming up with all these ideas and da 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 da, and you're making stuff, and all that stuff is fun. But what you need to be doing is going out and selling. And I was like, whoa, okay,
So
you're right.
true.
I need to
So
go get a
true.
customer. I need to
So
go start
true.
selling. It's like, that's what you're not good at, and that's what you need to get better at. And I was like, whoa,
Like, shut up.
you're right. Yeah.
Well, you could start with something that you like doing. That's a hobby. Like this Cliff Note stuff is sort of like my sort of like started with a weekend ramble, and then I found that, you know, I'm like you guys. I read a lot of stuff and take it in and try to synthesize it and then share with other people. That's
Yeah.
how cool. Let me see if it'll create a blog. You know.
Yeah.
So and then I really got too complicated with it. I've
Well, of
added
course,
monetization and all
inevitable.
kinds of other stuff, and it just
Yeah.
became so big. I was like, yeah. Let's come back to earth. Let's just keep it simple.
I've gone through
Yeah.
the same exercise, through the
I think we
same
all have.
scenario. And I
Go down
I
a
just
rabbit hole.
connected with this guy over on LinkedIn over in like, I don't know, some Eastern Bloc country, who's deep into agents too, who's funny guy, and he just went through this whole thing. He's like, I've been working on this for a whole month, and I just realized that everything, like I've been testing it and everything, and it's all just stubbed out code. Like it's all just
Mm,
framework code. Like the tests
yeah.
are made to come back, successful. Like the code didn't really work. It's
Yeah.
all it's 30,000 lines and nothing.
That's nothing.
Yeah, and yeah, I've gone through
Vibe
that.
coding. Was he vibe coding? Or, that's yeah. I just joined a group. You guys heard of School, SKOOL?
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
actually, yeah, yeah. It's a podcast.
Yeah. The
Um,
Alex M dude. I can't say his last name.
yeah.
Um,
Doesn't the
yeah,
same guy
You
own
like it?
acquisition.com?
he probably does. He's a pretty good sales guy. I watch some of his podcasts. But
Yeah, I think he owns acquisition.com.
his platform School enables people kind of like base 40 for 44, but enables communities as well. So whatever you have, you can go and build a community. Somebody just invited me to their community on School that is doing vibe coding alone. So I haven't really checked it out fully yet, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna. If it was just recent, I just thought it was pretty cool to
Get
get
your
a
vibe
bunch
on.
of heads together for that. Hmm?
Get your vibe on.
Yeah, get your vibe on. Exactly.
But it's a good exercise for you to see
Others are
what
doing,
the
yeah.
limits are,
True.
and then how far you can push the limits of anything you want
Yeah.
to build. And this is not the only app. Look, I got like what I'm experimenting with at least, if it'll ever get me in the workspace,
See,
at least 4 apps.
there it is. There it is.
So and some of them are silly,
Hey, look, same for me.
but I just want to see, I just want to see what it could do.
Dude, get into Google Opal. It's pretty
Yeah.
powerful as well. Now the output, I guess if you describe the output well, I haven't really cared about the output. I just care about the results for the most part. Like if you think about it from, hey, I want my app to look a certain way and function a certain way. If you describe it well, I'm pretty sure it can do that because I asked for some basic stuff and it gives me carousels and accordions, as far as UI components is concerned. I'm like, I don't ask for all that, but I like this. You know what I mean? So it's just depending on what you want. The great part about it, and that's why I asked you about base 44 is it usually generates one JavaScript file. So as a engineer, when I look at the code, I'm frustrated, right? Because I'm like, all of this stuff is like, it needs to be broken up into multiple files, blah, blah, blah. But the great thing about having it in one file is that it's seamless and it works and you can download it. And if you wanted to download it and put it in base 444 or put it somewhere else, like it's easy, one shot deal. You know what I mean?
I
So
mean,
that's
it
one thing.
generates a lot of code, dude. I mean, like
Yeah,
you
but
can,
I question the code though. The code is like, okay,
Bloat.
so yes, exactly, bloated.
it is
And
bloated. Yes, true.
right? Because I know sometimes when I was coding a lot, I would make stuff less abstract, so it's very coupled on purpose. But in my head, it makes sense. But I've also coded where everything is separate, like a variable for everything, right? But when I look at the code that AI is generating, it seems to be more like a variable for everything times squared. That's what it seems like to me, right? Which is
Yeah.
good because if you don't know how to code, and you're learning how to code, you can kind of follow along. So it's not so like it's what's the coding principle? KISS. Keep it stupid simple.
Yeah.
That's I'm sure
Keep
it's
it simple,
following that.
stupid.
Simple, stupid. There it is. There it is. You know,
See, like,
what's
you
this?
know, so this is another app that I'm experimenting with.
Mhm.
I actually own this name. So I said, listen, I want you to like build me a thing where I can search my own properties and find out like which properties are, are at risk of going into foreclosure, and maybe I'll
Dashboard.
wholesale it or something.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, make me this thing where I could just AI research a property by the address, just like Zillow. But it was just a terrible fail because when you put in the address, it doesn't return anything
What you
to
got
begin
there?
with.
What's this, Egan?
Sorry. Yeah, no, I'm. It's all about learning. All
Yeah.
these skills are all about learning.
Yeah.
And everybody's failing right now. Everybody's learning. This is all new territory. But I just sent a link of something that I have yet to try out, but it's something that just came out last week. MIT said some new coding paradigm that that's LLM friendly, and it sounds really, talk
I'm
about keep
thinking
it simple,
something.
stupid
Yeah.
simple, dead simple. Uh, so it's just something that I was kind of hoping to pick up on, start researching, start using, see how it works.
Well,
You know,
you got me curious, Egan. I know you create a lot of stuff. So like Cliff, he's creating a lot of, well, he's experimenting, right? But one of the things he's working on is his blog, right? So it's helping him with his blog and ideas to kind of expand that. And I know you have your whole MCP server and you implementing everything and connecting all the different models. Like,
yep.
but what is the intent of all that? Like, what are you trying to accomplish?
I'm trying to learn. I'm just
Yeah.
curious. I'm
Yeah.
curious about systems and how they
Mhm.
work and how I can. It's like a new set of Legos. I
Yeah.
keep
Yeah.
saying that over and over again. It's just like a new set of Legos, and I like to see how I can put stuff together,
Mhm.
and what all cool stuff you can make from it, what problems you can solve.
Right.
So it dovetails with a lot of my work with workflows and kind of automating workflows and
Right.
simplifying them and getting them online and
Right
shit.
there with you. That's my
Yeah, yeah,
intent too.
yeah. So I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I think if you're in the software industry, that's what you've been doing. So,
Yeah.
uh, so yeah, I'm working right now. I just got a new job, so I'm working on an AI project for the new company. So, and it's for it. We're going to test it out on HR folks, and it's so they don't have to run over to 50,000 dashboards. At our last company together, we had 192 dashboards, I think. And so you're going like, where do I even start with the dashboard? I'm looking for
Right.
information like,
Right.
whoa. So
So your biggest challenge with that is going to be the data sources.
yeah. So we're meeting on Wednesday with the tech folks to make sure that they sound like they've got all their data sources all hooked
So,
up and ready to go.
question, in this new role, are you UX?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the engineers, well, I guess you're gonna find out. Are they gonna even listen to you?
Oh yeah. No, we had a quick meeting with them the other day, and they sound like they're tip top. I mean,
Mhm.
they're all like, just give us the Figma files. We'll figure it out.
Right.
So I'm
That's
like, okay.
engineers.
So yeah, I've been trying to tell the PMs like we all need to get together and collaborate. Stop
Mhm.
keeping us apart. So
Right.
Yeah,
that's where all the magic
yeah,
happens.
that's true. But it's habitual for corporate tech companies to be very secretive in department silos.
No
Uh,
silos. Yeah.
yeah.
I break down silos.
Yeah, you do.
Hey guys, my battery's getting ready to die, and I got to get back to work. Yeah, we got a deadline tomorrow with got to get ready for these devs. So, but it was really cool hanging out with you guys, and I'm going
Man,
to be back
thank you. Thank you.
next week. Cliff, it was great meeting you.
You too.
Hope to see you again soon.
Same.
Yes,
Tell
sir.
Florida I said hello. I'm gonna go